What is the deal, YouTube? What's going on? It's your boy Ty here, back with another video. If you are new here to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, what's up? Today we're talking about a home defense setup. You already read the title, you know what's up. But before I get into the video, if you have not already subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you like gun content, hit that notification bell so you can get notified when I post a new video. And if you like today's video, if you found it somewhat helpful, like the video. It truly does help out the channel, helps share that message so we can get that out there and keep growing, baby. Okay, so you know the title of the video. We are talking about home defense setup. This is something I have been thinking about for a while because I feel like a lot of people, are into that type of stuff as far as, what they want to run for the home defense setup. But I know this subject is a sore subject for some, but it's a topic that I wanted to go over and discuss. Now, let's jump into it. What are you going to choose? Would you choose pistol or AR style? You know me, this is clear. This is my Glock 17 right here. So this is my bedside gun right here. Now, it's really all dependent. So before we get into it, it's really all dependent. And I want to say this, it's all really dependent on your training. So if your training's not that good, then you're not going to be good with anything. So you're not going to be efficient with anything. So I would say training is by far the most important thing. An AR, okay? And you guys have seen this AR. This thing is clear as well. There's nothing in here. This thing is clear. There's nothing in here. So, really, let's talk about it. So I would say that it's just really what I would say from jump. I would say it's really what you're comfortable with, and really it depends on your situation. So I'm going to say it really depends on your living situation. So for me, there's a lot more area to cover. So I have some space, to where somebody who's maybe like living in an apartment or something like that, they might not have enough space like that. So I would say that be mindful as far as what you choose. But then also, I would say pistol versus AR, I'm going to say that it's all dependent on, it's really what you can afford as well. So if you can't afford, something like this or a loadout, like this, and we'll talk about like a loadout later. You guys have seen this. This is my BCM 11.5 inch AR right here. If you haven't already, check that out. I'll link that up in the description. 11.5 inch, and if you don't have something, you don't have the funds to, I would say get something like that, then I would say definitely like rock with, like a handgun or a pistol. I know a lot of some of the guys, they'll just run like their EDC gun as well for their bedside. So, but keep that in mind because it's really just kind of depending on your area and everything, so be mindful of that. I mean, let's kind of get back to it, so pistol, is small, it's compact pretty much, versus like something like an AR, something like that. But which is easier to grab? Typically, I would say as far as like home defense goes, there's always going to be, typically there's probably going to be at least two guys, or two people, I would say at least, now two or more. And it is just really dependent on, it really, you just don't know. So a lot of people will argue that, handgun is smaller, it's easier to maneuver. It's, you can kind of go with it. Whereas, something a little bit longer or, harder to maneuver, granted on the, whatever size, whatever length that you're going for, this is 11.5 inch. So, it's kind of easy to go around corners, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So this is, this might be on your bedstand, nightstand, whatever you want to call it, right next to you. I mean, this guy right here, and you guys have seen this as well too. So, this has rocking a Surefire on here. I would say definitely go with a light. If you've been following this channel, I'm gonna rock with a light. Now, some people rock with the handheld light, where they'll hold it like this or whatever. That's cool too, but I would say definitely rock a light because you're gonna need to identify your target. You don't want to just be shooting at the dog or, God forbid, your family member. So I would say definitely you got to get a light. But other than that though, now we'll talk about, this is 9mm, this is chambered at 9mm. So I would say that ammo is a thing as well. And I would say stopping power, because 9mm, now let's say, for instance, there's two or three or more guys. Typically it's probably going to be, more than two people, I would say two or more. 9mm, I mean, are you really going to rock with a 9mm? You're talking about stopping power. If they're just your like local crackheads, I mean, you might be able to get away with it. Maybe you won't though, because they're going to be cracked out. You know, you shoot somebody with this, you might not put them down. I mean, they might keep coming. So I would say 9mm is cool. And I won't get too far as like the ballistics and stuff, but you get what I'm saying. Like 9mm. Yes, this is easy to grab. I can pick this up. I can maneuver it, whatever. However many rounds you got in this. I think this holds 21, 22 or something like that. It's just, you know, it's cool. It's nice to have, but you know, you're talking like 9mm stopping power. If they have armor or whatever, hollow points, cool, whatever. And then, you know, I know that a lot of people will talk about over penetration as well. But before I get into that, let's jump to this. So say, you know, you're rocking this guy right here, 11.5 inch. So depending on your barrel length, a lot of people will go, again, this is where you live as well. So I can reach out and touch with this, you know, 200 and beyond. Does it become home defense at that point? I don't know. So it depends on where you live. I know laws and states and, you know, everything varies. So just know where you're at, know your environment. But 11.5 inch right here, you guys have seen this as well. Eotech, I'll start with this because Eotech, again, you don't want to be fooling with a bunch of stuff. You want to have the best advantage. So I would say whatever that allows, whatever your budget allows, get it. If it's night vision, get it. If it's lasers, all that stuff, whatever your budget allows, I would say definitely get it. At 11.5 inch, you know, Eotech, it's good, it's proven. But if you want something that's just gonna, you know, I would say like an aim point or something like that, you just pick this up and go. You don't want to be fooling around with a lot of stuff. So now 5.56. Now this is a more lethal round. So somebody comes in, 2-3 guys, however many. This thing get to sparking and barking, it's not gonna be nice, you know, versus as where this guy, you know, this thing gets to talking but you know, somebody might take that 9 or survive that 9 round, you know, you only put 1 or 2, however many rounds, whatever, you get what I'm saying. But then you start talking about this guy right here, this thing gets to barking, you know, it's a bit different story. So keep that in mind as well. Now, I know a lot of people say over penetration as well. Again, this is your area, wherever you live. So, and then, you know, you can talk about a suppressor. Now, I do plan on suppressing this. So keep that in mind as well. But, you know, depending, you know, like if your neighbors are around or something like that, maybe you want the neighbors to know that there's something going down, you know, at the house, you know, at the residence, and stuff's going down. So you might want them to know that, or you might want a suppressor. Now, and then again, if you're in an open area, you might not want that big old fireball blasting, letting people know where you're at. So it's really dependent on you. You could rock a suppressor, but definitely, you see I have a light on here as well. This is Surefire. This is tried and true. Again, I mentioned the Eotech. It's, you know, probably don't want to be fooling with that, you know, if I hear a bump in the night, because the less things that you want to do to be prepared. Now, and then again, kind of to compare them both, this is going to be easier to grab. You know, you're not going to be fooling around with a sling or anything on this, but you do want to grab this and pick it up and go. So it is, you know, which do you prefer? I think that it's really just comes down to what you can afford. Some people have both, you know, some people have more than one gun, obviously, in their house, that have different areas in their house that they have guns. So you can go to a different room. I would say, but, you know, what's it worth to, you know, what's your family worth to you? Is it worth getting a whole setup, you know, with night vision and lasers and stuff like that? That's up to you. Really, what's your family worth to you? You know, eventually, I would say at minimum, you have to have a light. You have to positively identify your target. A light is definitely very imperative. And as far as like mag capacity and round capacity goes, you know, you're talking about like 21, 22 here, depending on if you're rocking an extended mag, versus, you know, 30 right here. But then again, like I said, it's a more lethal round. So, you know, some people, depending on where you live as well, some people might be rocking like a 308 and they don't think that 5.56 or 300 blackout or something like that is going to be ideal for them. But I would say get you something that's going to be, they're all good, you know. I didn't want to throw in shotgun as well. I just wanted to do pistol and AR, but I would say that it's really up to you to kind of wrap this up. Back to my point earlier, I would say get what you can afford. If you have both, get them both. This is 5.56. This is 9. 5.56 here. You know, a lot of people like to run 300 blackout for their house as well, for the home defense setup. So I would say eventually maybe get you, you know, I would say it's good to have multiple different variations, different round calibers. I mean, the more the better maybe. Depends on you, but training is obviously imperative. So I would think that, you know, yeah, you can have all these guns, but how trained are you with them? You know, so definitely keep that in mind. I wanted to kind of go over just a couple things. You know, I think that's really imperative. Some things to think about as far as like a home defense setup goes. I would say, you know, definitely think about those things. Think about the maneuverability that you know have with like a pistol or something like that. If you're rocking a light, whatever, night sights, all that stuff. It may just be one guy. It may just be one person who's breaking in. Maybe the 9mm do it. Maybe it'll do the job. Maybe it'll put him down. And, you know, you can explain that, you know, hollow points, whatever. But then, you know, you have your bigger caliber, you know, 300 blackout, 5.56, 308, whatever you're talking. I don't know. But I would say make sure it's suited enough to know that, hey, this is what I'm good with. This is what I can use, whatever. But I would say, you know, definitely think about that. Something to consider: 9mm, 5.56, 300 blackout, whatever you choose. AR, you know, versus your pistol here. Whatever you choose, I think that you should just get the right training for it. And hopefully the situation never happens and never occurs. But that's all I want to talk to you guys. You know, which would you guys choose? Would you choose AR platform 300 blackout, or would you choose like a handgun? Pretty easy to maneuver, move around, whatever. Shorty right here, whatever style. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys would choose as far as your setup goes, or what your setup is. That's all I have for you guys. I know I kind of got a little long-winded, but I want to go over a couple points. But that's all I have for you guys. Stay subbed up, hit that notification bell so you can get notified when I post a new video. That's all I have for you guys. It's your boy Ty. Peace.